Boys, this is economics first lesson, understanding development, perspectives, measurement and sustainability. Shall we move on to the lesson? The word development is used widely. It refers to progress of a particular field or a particular person. We already heard this word development and we always heard about this word development. Now we are going to see about what is development. Development is nothing but development refers to the progress of a particular field, one particular field or one particular person. Similarly, the economic progress of a country is known as economic development. The economic development of one country is known as economic development. Every human being has an ambition or desire of his or her own to achieve progress in life. Yes or no? We all have ambitions and desires. Similarly, we have ideas about how a country should progress. Like the same way, we have some ideas about our country's development. If our thinking turns towards progress and about the ways to achieve the many goals for progress, it leads to development. It is nothing but we are thinking about our country's development, it leads to the development. Okay. Now we are going to see about the different words and different meanings for development. See this picture, different perspective of the word development. Improvement, growing process, way of moving forward, not doing same mistake twice, part of daily life, advance, grows within, never ending process, bettering yourself, freedom to grow, progress. So these all are the meaning for one single word development. Okay. The term economic development refers to the overall growth of all sectors of the economy by adoption of new technologies. So the term economic development is nothing but overall growth of a country. Okay, what is economic development? Overall growth. What is the meaning of overall growth? In all fields, one country should be developed. This is only called economic development. Next, we are going to see about indicators of economic development. Net national product, per capita income, purchasing power parity, human development index. These all are the major indicators to measure the level of our country's economic development. First, we are going to see about net national product. The another name for net national product is national income. Okay, what is national income? The total value of goods and services produced in a country over a period of time. In a particular period of time, how many goods and services produced by a country, that is only called national income. So these all productions came together and total, that is called national income. So we must add all production of a country, that is only called what? National income. What is another name for national income? Net national product. For measuring a country's development, its income is considered to be one of the most important factors. Yes or no? To measure a country's development, the income is very important. Countries with higher income are considered to be more developed than those with lesser income. So higher income countries are considered developed countries. Yes or no? So income itself is considered to be one of the indicators of economic development. So income itself considered as the best indicator of the economic development. Next one, per capita income. Per capita income is nothing but it is an indicator to show the living standard of people in a country. What is per capita income? It is one indicator. What indicator? To show the living standard of people in a country. What is the living standard of people in the particular country? That is only called per capita income. How we measure per capita income? Boys, this is a very important and repeated 2 mark question. Okay. Per capita income is equal to national income divided by population. They will ask definition of per capita income and equation of per capita income. What is the definition? Per capita income is an indicator to show the living standard of people in a country. This is definition. What is the equation? Per capita income is equal to national income divided by population. According to the World Bank report, new income measurements of countries are classified as below. 2017 to 2018 report. Okay. Low income, less than 1005. Lower middle income, 1006 to 3955. Upper middle income, 3956 to 12235. High income, above than 12,235. They gave these all in dollars, okay, not in Indian rupees. Purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity is an economic theory that allows the comparison of the purchasing power of the various world currencies one another. It is nothing but purchasing power of the various world countries. Okay, how many amount they purchased, that is only called purchasing power parity. The technique of purchasing power parity allows us to estimate what exchange between two currencies is needed. So this purchasing power parity tells us what exchange between two currencies is needed. Okay. Recently, India became the third largest economy in terms of PPP. PPP means purchasing power parity. China became the largest, defeating the US to the second position. So which country secured first? China secured first place, US secured second place, India secured third place. Okay. Human development. Human resource is necessary for the progress of any country. Yes or no? Yes. Human resource is the very important aspect. The term human resources refers to the collective abilities of people which can be utilized in the production sector. Utilized means used. This human resource is nothing but it refers to the collective abilities, collective talents of people which can be used in the production sector. So production sector, okay, produced sector. Human resource development means the development of a person's physical and mental abilities through education, healthcare and training. So what is human resource? Human resource development means development of persons physical ability and mental ability. Okay, how can we identify these abilities? Through education, healthcare and training. Therefore, investment in education and health of people can result in a high rate of returns in the future of a country. So this education and health of people through investment is considered as the high rate of returns of a future for our country. For example, if a child is invested with good education and health, he or she may turn to be very protective in future. Yes or no? If we will get good education, we will get a nice job. Yes or no, child? Yes. Human Development Index HDI, which indicates all round development of the people in the society. This Human Development Index is nothing but all round development of a country and people in the society. Sustainability of development. Sustainable economic development is taken to mean development without damaging the environment. Without damaging our environment, we must be developed. This is only called sustainable economic development. We must not be damage anyone and environment. This is only called sustainable development. Natural resources can be divided into two types: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. First, we are going to see about renewable resources. What is renewable resources? We can be reproduced it again and again. We can be reproduced. What is the another name for renewable resources? Replenishable resources. Okay, we can be reproduced. What are the examples? Solar energy, wind energy, water, wood, paper. Okay, what is non-renewable resources? We cannot be reproduced again and again, or non-replenishable resources. What are the another name for non-renewable resources? Non-replenishable resources. We cannot be reproduced it. Million of years are needed for the formation of these resources. These resources are be taken million of years for the formation. Okay, example, metals, natural gas and oil. We already seen about this petroleum and natural gas in 8th standard. Yes or no? Yes, a million of years ago this animals and plants waste are turned into natural gas and oil. So this is called non-renewable resources. Policies for sustainable development. Use of non-conventional source of energy, solar power in India. First, we are going to see about non-conventional source of energy. India depends on thermal and hydro power plants to meet its power needs. Yes or no? India fully depends on thermal power plant and hydro power plants. What is thermal power plant? Converting solar energy into electricity. What is hydro power plant? Converting water energy into electricity. So India depends these two powers only. Both these sources have an adverse environmental impact. Thermal power plants emit large quantities of carbon dioxide which pollute the environment. But what is the drawback of a thermal power plant? This thermal power plant releases large amount of carbon dioxide. Okay. For breathing, what air we use? Yes, only oxygen. But this thermal power plant releases large amount of carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide pollute our environment. Next one, solar power in India. Solar power is the conversion of energy from sunlight into electricity, either directly using photovoltaic cells or indirectly using concentrated solar power. So we can use sun directly. This is only called solar energy. Okay. What is thermal energy? We can use that heat only, not sun. That is only called thermal energy. What is solar power? We can directly use the sun. That is only called solar energy. Solar power in India is a fast developing industry. Tamil Nadu is the state which highest installed solar capacity in India. Tamil Nadu is one of the leading solar power producing states in India. As on 31st July 2017, the total installed capacity in Tamil Nadu is 1697 megawatt. So see this table. List of environmental acts in India. How many environmental acts passed in India? National Green Tribunal Act 2010, Biological Diversity Act 2002, Environment Protection Act 1986, Forest Conservation Act 1980, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, Wildlife Protection Act in 1972. Environmental policies in India have been evolved considerably over the past 3 decades. These policies have covered a wide range of issues such as air, water pollution, waste management and biodiversity conservation. India faces challenges in economic development with limited resources, minimum externalities. So India also faces many challenges, okay, in the field of economic development. This can be overcome by sustainable development. So I already told about sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Our country is growing fully. That is called sustainable development. The Supreme Court of India has interpreted and introduced new changes in environmental protection through a series of directions and judgments. The Supreme Court of India introduced many changes in our environmental protection. The growth story of Tamil Nadu. How Tamil Nadu grown? Tamil Nadu is one of the states having achieved rapid progress with a relatively short period. In a very short period, Tamil Nadu achieved many rapid progresses. Tamil Nadu started from appalling levels of poverty, deprivation and inequality. These all are the hindrance in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Tamil Nadu initiated bold social programs such as universal midday meals in primary schools and started putting in place an extensive social infrastructure, schools, health centers, roads, public transport, water supply, electricity and much more. Tamil Nadu introduced midday meal scheme first, and many health centers, roads, public transport are built in Tamil Nadu. Water supply and electricity connection and much more development in Tamil Nadu. Today Tamil Nadu has some of the best public services among all Indian states, and many of them are accessible to all on a discriminatory basis. Today Tamil Nadu achieved many development in India. There is no evidence that the cultivation of human capability has been at the cost of conventional economic success such as fast economic growth. Cultivation also one of the major reason for Tamil Nadu's development. Tamil Nadu have some of the highest per capita incomes and lowest poverty rates among all Indian states. Among all Indian states, Tamil Nadu have highest per capita income and lowest poverty rate. Economic growth in turn has enabled these states to sustain and consolidated active social policies. Many social policies also activated in Tamil Nadu. This is an important example of the complementary between economic growth and public support. So this is only the great example for economic growth and our public support. This article is written by Professor Amartya Sen, who won the Nobel Prize. Thank you.